Hi all, today we'll discuss about Java latest real-time interview question. So the first question is what all are the latest features in Java 21 and useful for the microservice development. So the first is virtual thread, structure concurrency, record patterns, pattern matching for switch and scope value. So these all are the features for the Java 21 introduced for the microservice beneficial. So while we use for this virtual thread, it will improve the scalability. While we use a structured concurrency, it will simplify the concurrent programming. While we use for the record pattern, it will enhance the data handling. While we use pattern matching, it will use for the statement for the most expression. While we use for the scope value, it will be used for the alternative to thread local variables or improve the performance. So these all are the features. Now the next question is how do you handle the circuit breaker in a Spring Boot microservice architectures? So while to handle the circuit breakers, we will use a Silence 4J or a Spring Cloud circuit breakers to implement the circuit breaking. So this is the examples where we use circuit breaker. So we need to use at the rate circuit breaker patterns annotations, and then we have to mention the method name. Now the next question is how does Kafka handle event driven microservice communication? So Kafka acts as a message broker that allow async decouple communication between microservices. So we use multiple key concept here: the producers, consumers, topic partitions, and schema registry. A schema registry is used for this Avro JSON ensure data consistency. So this is the examples where we use Kafka consumer in a Spring Boot. So we need to use at the rate Kafka listener annotations. There we have to mention the topic and group ID. Now the next question is what is API gateway? How does do you use in microservices? So API gateway is a reverse proxy that root request, handle authentication and rate limiting and load balancing. So in Spring Cloud, we use a Spring Cloud gateway. So this is the examples where we are routing the request by using API gateway. Now the next question is how does AWS Lambda work with a Spring Boot? So AWS Lambda allow running a Spring Boot application serverlessly. So use a Spring Cloud functions for integrations. So this is the examples where we are creating a functions and then deploying it using AWS Lambda Java runtime with API gateway. Now the next question is what is the best practice for securing the microservices? So best practice for securing microservices using auth2 JWT authentications, rate limiting, mutual TLS authentication, role based access control, or logging and monitoring. So the logging and monitoring we will use ELK, Prometheus, Grafana. Role based access we will use Spring Security. Mutual TLS authentication for the internal communications. Rate limit for the Resilience 4J or API gateway. And auth2 or JWT token authentications we will use Spring Security with Keylock auth0. Now the next question is how does Kubernetes help in deployment the microservices? So Kubernetes provide scalability, healing, and load balancing for the microservices. So there are some key component while we deployment manage lifecycle, while a service expose the app, ingress handle the routing, and config map and secret store the configurations and all. So this is the examples of Kubernetes deployment YAML. So while we are deploying in Kubernetes, then we have to config this deployment YAML file in application.property. Now the next question is how do you ensure data consistency in distributed microservices? So the data consistency distributed microservices we will use Saga pattern, choreography and orchestration, outbox patterns using Kafka and two-phase commit 2PC. So examples here Saga using Kafka, order service placed order, emits Kafka event, payment service listen, process the payment, and then inventory service update the stock. Now the next question is what is wave flux and when should you use it? So wave flux is a Spring reactive programming models used when so high concurrency, non-blocking call, streaming data. So the high concurrency chat applications IoT based, non-blocking means reactive MongoDB or Kafka, and streaming data means WebSocket. So the example of WebFlux reactive REST API. This is the examples where we are creating the API using WebFlux. So we have to find the get all product by using Flux. Now the next question is how do you optimize performance in a Spring Boot applications? So using use cache, Redis cache or EH cache, optimize database query, index and projection, enable asynchronous processing at the async webflux, reduce memory footprint, or will use a use connection pooling either Hikari CP. Now the next question is how do you monitor Spring Boot application in production? To monitor the Spring Boot applications, we have actuator endpoint. They'll check the health and metrics. We have distributed tracing, Jepkin and Opal telemetry. We have log aggregations, ELK, Stack and Locky Splunk. Then we have application performance monitoring. We have Datadog and all. Now the next question is explain eventual consistency in microservices. So eventual consistency means data update propagations over time. So ensuring consistency without locking transaction. So CQRS patterns separately read, write model, Saga patterns, change services section, and change data capture CDC, DebGM, and Kafka. Now the next question is how do you integrate Spring Boot with Redis cache? So while we using integrate with Redis cache in Spring Boot, we have added it cacheable. So the cacheable annotations we'll use there. We have to create a value key ID and all. Now the next question is what is difference between a Spring Boot and monolithic and microservices? So there are multiple features are there while we deployment. So in monolithic single unit, microservice independent service. Features have for the monolithic scalability vertical, microservice horizontal, fault tolerance poor, but in microservice is strong. Technological stack is single and multiple in microservices. Now the next question is how does GraphQL work with Spring Boot? So GraphQL allow flexible query over REST. So this is the examples where we are using GraphQL instead of REST API. So we using at the rate query mapping. We are creating list of the product, and then we are returning some get all products. Now the next question is how do you handle authentication in microservices? To handle the authentication using auth2 JWT token, a Spring Security, Keylock, API Gateway authentication. Now the next question is explain Docker multi-stage build in my Spring Boot. So Docker file is used for this. So how we will create a Docker file, which is create a Docker image form. We will use that copy run form. We have JDK versions. Copy will have a jar app jars, and then command we will use some of the command to create a Docker image and all. Now the next question is how do you configure logging in Kubernetes? So the logging use Fluent, Elasticsearch, Kibana, ELK and all. Now the next question is how do you implement API rate limiting in Spring Boot? To implement API rate limiting, we have a bucket 4J or API gateway throttling. Now the next question is how do you handle blue-green deployment in Kubernetes? To handle this blue-green deployment, use two environment. One is blue, another is green. Blue will be old environment and green will be the new environment. Switch traffic via ingress or load balance so that our blue-green deployment will handle in Kubernetes. Yeah, that's it, guys. Thank you.